Hey, this is Mike here with American House Guys. Hey, so we're getting ready to start our small miniaturized training program, which is going to take place over time. And I thought, it might be a good time to do it because I just picked up a check for $96,000. I mean, that's kind of nice. Is it the biggest check I've ever had? No. Is it all profit? Absolutely not. You got to pay for the house, and we did some repairs, and you got to pay the guys, but still, if you get a check for $96,000, you ought to be able to figure out a way to perhaps make a few bucks on it, right? Now, I'm not going to go into detail on exactly what the profit was, because, I'd like to let you think how tough things are going. But the truth is, you could probably buy a car for what we just made. So it's kind of nice. But when you buy a property, somebody said, well, Mike, why do you want to buy a property? Why do you want to own a house? Well, before you can sell a house, you have to have a house. So what we've got to start with, if you want to get the best type of deals, there's two types of sellers. There's a regular seller that's either they're just kind of your tire kickers, they're thinking of selling the house, or they would sell the house if the price is right, or they've considered it. And then there's what I like to call, and you probably heard this term, a motivated seller. What is a motivated seller? That's somebody who is either, maybe they've got a divorce, maybe there's a bankruptcy, maybe they're behind in payments, or maybe they're about to be money's tight. I mean, if you look around, I don't care who you vote for, the politicians got the economy a little bit kind of tore up and crazy. So when you find a motivated seller, somebody who really has a motivation to sell the house, a lot of times you can make a deal. This particular deal right here that we got the check on, this lady, she was a frustrated seller. Let me tell you her quick story. And later on, probably later this week, I'm going to give you a play-by-play anatomy and break it down for you. But what happened was I found a lady who had a renter in there, and guess how far behind they were in their rent? 4 years. I mean, now you might be thinking, 4 years? Who would let somebody go 4 years without making a rent payment? Well, the problem was this lady that owned it, she was too nice. Now, if you know me, you may already be aware that I'm not too nice. In fact, maybe I'm the opposite, right? But what happens is, she was too nice. The people had went to her church. They needed a place to stay. And every time she would ask them about paying the rent, they would say things like, well, things are tight. Can we catch up to you? And I think she told me in a period of 4 years, they paid her a total of, ready, $150. So when I talked to her, she said, I'm just done. I've had it up to here. I want to get rid of the house. I said, don't you worry. I'll get rid of your problem. I'll take care of the problem, and I'll get rid of the tenant. Guess how long it took me to get them out of the house? I think right around 3 weeks, and boom, I had them out. Because if you know what you're doing, there's a way of doing it. Now, I found this motivated seller. So when I found a motivated seller, I asked her, what do you want for the house? And it didn't take, and I'm going to show you the anatomy of the breakdown of the case study in a few days, but it didn't take very long to put together a deal. We come up with a real quick price. Boom, I took over the house. And when you see how we did it, you're going to like it. So always remember this. You're looking for motivated sellers. So like if you're driving through the neighborhood and you see high grass, or you see newspapers on the porch, or there's junk pile around, a lot of times that may be a tired landlord, maybe a vacant property. Keep your eyes open. And I'll show you another time how you literally can find the name and address and phone number of the owner of that place so you know exactly what to do. Now, what do? I made myself a note. You want to find a motivated seller, then you got to fund the deal. We're going to spend another time. I'm going to probably take 15, 20 minutes and show you exactly how we fund the deal without having to get bank loans, huh? That's a pretty good deal, right? And you might be thinking, yeah, that's good that you don't have to get a bank loan, because I can't. I got a friend of mine, I like to call him the great Andy G. He's a cash buyer. He likes to pay cash. Then I've got other friends who are like, well, I'll buy it if you don't take any money and don't any credit. I talked to a friend of mine named Bill, and he said, well, I got a lot of money, Mike. It's just all tied up in debt. And I was laughing about that. But you want to find a deal, you want to fund a deal, and then you have to sell a deal. Now, the selling of it is super, super easy. It just is. Why? Because I'm going to show you how we actually offer properties with what we call creative terms, and that's where the money gets huge. So probably, if not tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to break down all the particular details, and we're going to go into this all the way through, and you're going to like it. Now, so when we get the house ready, how do we market the house? Well, depends what your goal is. In other words, what are you looking for? Are you looking to fix the house up and repair it, which there's on TV, they call that flipping the house, where you put all that time and effort into it? Are you wanting to be a buy and hold investor? In other words, a landlord? To me, landlording can drive you crazy. The tenants will call you on Thanksgiving morning and say, hey, I need you to light my water heater. Are you wanting to be the bank? That's one of my favorite exit strategies. Being the bank means they make payments to you You get to collect the payment, you get to collect the interest, and at the same time, you also get to make the spread. If you think about it, who is the biggest buildings in town? Probably the banks and insurance companies, right? Because they make money for, in fact, if you calculate an amortization table, for every dollar that a bank loans you, they usually get back 3, right? So 1 to 3, 1 to 3, pretty good ratio. On this one house we're getting ready to put out on owner financing, I think we're going to have right around probably 75 or 80,000 in the house, and over time we'll probably pick up around 300 grand, which if you budget yourself, if you could lay out 75,000 and over time get back 300,000. As my buddy says, that's simple interest, Mike. That's just simple interest. But still, if you budget yourself, you can pay your bills, right? So we're going to be getting into this. So you want to start paying attention to these. And by the way, if you know anybody else who has interest perhaps in getting into real estate or maybe picking up a check for $96,000, huh? Pretty cool. Let people know we're going to be doing this and refer this to people, because if I'm going to do this, I'm hoping people want to tune in and watch it. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to be wrapping this up because I've got to go to a nursing home and visit an old fart. I mean, a friend of mine, excuse me. So, hey, this is Mike with American House Guys, and we are going to have more fun than you can imagine on this journey of ours. And over the next couple of months or so, I'm going to go into details on how to fund them, where we're getting the money, how to put together the deals. And if you like the stuff, I'll make a lot of the stuff available for you at no charge. Cool? This is Mike saying, see you soon.